My view on why we're so anxious is that we're so focused on things that we can control instead of actually just being present enough to feel however we're feeling and either letting it pass or working through it.
But if you took a rocket ship up and just went straight, do you think space would go on for infinity, or do you think you'd eventually wrap around and come back to Earth?
Well, some of the theories is that space is there's a outer limit to space. Like it is when itself its own bubble, because it's just one thing that's pulling apart, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So technically, if you went as far as you could, you would in a way wrap around, right? Almost thrown in the towel so many times over so many situations, but I've always gotten back up. And when I came back up, I came back louder and stronger and more fierce, and I've dominated more.
You're a phoenix rising from the ashes.
For sure,
That is
Phoenix?
awesome.
Oh, that's like a reincarnation
It is a
character too. Yeah.
reincarnation. We have so many reincarnations in our life if we embrace it.
That's like when you get knocked down and come back, that's a little bit of reincarnation. Like you broke one version of you.
Yeah,
you
who I
forged something
come back
new.
as, like that deep sense of knowingness. Like, I mean, if someone came up to me and like threw some jokes my way, like I'd laugh. But like maybe 18-year-old Wani would be hurt, because it is a reincarnation. Like the experiences I've had, who I am now, is not the same person who I was like 10 years ago,
And maybe
or
you
who I
needed
was
to
a
go
week
through
ago.
that. Would you go back in time and tell your 18-year-old version advice, or do you think you'd leave her alone so she could learn all the same lessons again?
I think I would tell her to invest in Apple. And I would tell her to have a lot more sex.
So Wani, why coffee?
Coffee has a special place in my heart. For me, I didn't have many safe spaces growing up, and I always felt safe in coffee houses and in cafes.
Is that the secret goal of your coffee shops? To help people meet each other?
Yes.
And have those kind of relationships?
I mean, if you look at data says, apart from women being introduced by a friend to a man, cafes are the second most approachable place for them, where they'd like to be approached.
Dang.
Okay. That's good.
I know where I'm going.
Matt Single. Yeah.
Yeah,
To Mothership we go.
there you go. But when they ask the same set of questions to men, cafes came in fifth. So men are not
Really?
aware that women want to be approached in cafes.
What can people learn from your dating experiences?
If you have a checklist, you will get everything on your checklist, and you will meet the person that has everything on your checklist.
You have a
And
mental checklist?
no, like a written
physical
checklist.
Oh, you could print it out.
Oh yeah, you could print it out. Like one of my best friends made me do a checklist, and then my girlfriend showed me her checklist, and I was like so embarrassed because on my checklist is like I wrote, I want a guy with a truck. Because trucks are really great,
Yeah,
and I
move
don't
stuff
have
around.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're practical.
That's awesome.
Remember, the shaman was isolated on purpose.
Okay, tell me. No, where's the
So-
shaman? I don't.
So the shaman or the oracle or the witch, they would be found as a young child, or either selected and turned into a shaman through different rituals or difficult experiences, or they were selected.
Oh, a shaman's like someone who has a lot of knowledge.
A shaman has a lot of knowledge, but also more so like they are the conduit to the other world.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So the group would always need a shaman of some sort. It's separate from the leader. There would be the actual public leader, which would lead the tribe. And then the shaman would be the conduit to the other world, would be the medicine man or the woman, the healer. They would not only heal you physically, they will heal you emotionally, mentally, as well as spiritually. I got into a deep state of meditation, and I started having visions. The visions were physically brought on by my body fighting itself. There was a part of me that
Interesting.
didn't want
Yeah.
to get into this deep state, and it showed up as like massive
Yeah, I totally
anxiety.
identify with that. Yeah, with
And-
hypnotism, I've had that before, so I know that resonates with me.
Yeah, so it's like it was my body was fighting, and I felt the anxiety. And instead of fighting against the anxiety or fearing it, because the feeling of anxiety is horrible, I welcomed it, and I felt that it was a way for my skin to sort of break apart, if that makes sense. If like there was this container of my identity of who I was as a structure, the anxiety was actually me trying to push past that skin.
What winning looks like is figuring out what your internal intuition says and following your own voice.
I think the realization I had is that I'm the greatest love of my life.
That's awesome.